that's the post office in Varennes. I got here right at 9 o'clock when it opened. It took me about an hour to go through my box. My dad sent me a bunch of snacks, my new tent, just some like miscellaneous gear, and I had to sort through everything, what I needed, and pack it back up and all that. So I stopped at the Winn-Dixie first thing this morning and resupplied, because they opened at 7. So I still need to charge up, and I'm gonna go to the Culver's, try one of their hamburgers, and then once I'm charged up, I might hang out for a little bit and then just do like another 11 miles or so to a stealth site. So this is the resupply, and then next door is Publix. I still haven't been to Publix, but I've heard it's like a little bit up on the higher end, so I figured Winn-Dixie was probably cheaper. You can see the Culver's down there. Just a little bit of maybe quarter mile from the Winn-Dixie. One of the main things that I sent home was obviously the tarp. I exchanged it for my tent, and then I also sent all my cooking stuff, my stove, pot, all that. One, because the alcohol stove doesn't do great in cold weather, so it's kind of a pain to get it started. But I also just don't like the time commitment it takes to cook breakfast and dinners. I kind of like to get up and leave early and not have to fool with it when I just want to go to bed. So oftentimes I end up carrying it around and never using it. So it's the first time on trail I haven't carried a stove, but I've kind of been practicing the last 2 weeks of just eating snack food anyway, so I think I'll be fine without it. And it also saves a lot of space. It's kind of, I have a little bit of a larger pot, and then I have like a pot cozy around it that makes it even bigger. So not really concerned about the weight, but the space savings in my pack is a lot nicer. This is where it comes back off the road into this park and in Varennes, at least for a little bit. It's kind of nice. I mean, just tables, but this is the group campsite that they say you can camp in if you get permission. I don't know whose permission you're supposed to get. I couldn't find any information, but this is where you kind of come in. The Florida Trail is like right around the corner. It's just technically like just off of Blue Blaze. I mean, it's really big. There's the water, fire ring, picnic tables. It would be hard to stealth here if you were trying to hide from somebody that was like walking by and checking, but I mean, you do hear a little bit of road noise, but besides that, you're surrounded by trees and stuff. So the only people that would see you are people that are walking through. This is the trail, and then you can see that thing right there is the back side of that picnic shelter. So it's right next to it. This is the whole park, I guess. This is where we came in here off the street. This is the group campsite. Come here, and then once you get here, it kind of hits a bike path or something. So it kind of spits you out onto this bike path, which is pretty heavily used. So once again, it's a Saturday afternoon. Been passed by several people on bikes in the last 10 minutes or so, but I think I'm gonna be on this thing pretty much the rest of the day to some extent. But wanted to mention a couple of things. I left that recreation area early this morning because Stevie Wonder got there last night. He kind of ran into a camp host and asked him, like, you know, where am I supposed to camp at? And the camp host kind of gave him an attitude about, well, you're not supposed to be here if you don't have a reservation, and if you want to camp, you're supposed to camp on the Florida Trail, and basically told him to get lost. So just to play it safe, I wanted to be out of there before the sun was up in case I ran into him. Not that it really mattered because I already slept there and was leaving, but I guess they got a new host because one of them, claiming to be the current host as of a couple weeks ago, posted on Far Out and said, yeah, just camp 100 yards past the bathrooms, you're fine. And then this guy was obviously not about that, so something changed. I think it's still possible to camp there. I would just be low-key about it. When you get in kind of late. Maybe don't make yourself obvious. Set up after dark. Don't let people see you walking back there, etc. Because I think it just depends on who the current host is, if they're gonna tolerate it or not. Just one quick note about this. On my road walking scale that I've created, this would be a 0 because it's a bike path. But I just wanted to compare this to the Okeechobee one, and that not all bike paths and not all road walks are created equal, because this one has a flatter, better cut grass to walk on, unlike Okeechobee's like steep slopes with tall grass on it. This one is shaded mostly, and this also runs through like pretty close to towns where you can like go 0.1 or 0.2 and get to a Dollar General or something like that. There's a couple of benches I've seen like on the side over here you can sit at. And yeah, Okeechobee, like you were stranded between like two canals. You were in the sun. You had a freeway next to you for most of it. Like there's very slight road noise here. So even though technically both this one and Okeechobee would be a 0 for road walking, there are definitely nuances that make some of them better than others. So there's a gas station right across the street. There's a road crossing up here, and you could bushwhack through those little grass, but I think one of these has a Dollar General. Speak of the devil. See it right there. So I think there's another road crossing maybe up here. Maybe you take this one and road walk a little bit, but yeah, convenient resupply if you didn't want to stop at Inverness for whatever reason. So that's the back side of the burger station. Trail is obviously right here, so convenient place to grab lunch. I honestly wasn't that hungry, but just trying to kill time, I guess, because I only got like 5 miles to go to like this stealth spot off the side of this trail. So I'm still gonna get there a little bit early, but I'm trying to time it to get there close to sunset, and I should be able to sneak off and hopefully nobody will see me. And that burger was pretty good. It's a little expensive though. It was like the burger and the fries was like $14, but It was better than the Culver's one I had. The Culver's one, so I never had their hamburgers before, but I've heard good things about them. I got the butter burger. I mean, I guess it's better than like Burger King or McDonald's or even Wendy's, I guess, but I didn't think it was really anything particularly special. I think Five Guys and like Smash Burger and Shake Shack and all that are still better places. Probably more expensive too, but between the two, I definitely would have gone to Burger Station instead of Culver's. But I hung out there for a couple hours, pretty much just to charge, and I don't like to hang out in businesses like that for that long without paying, because it, you know, it's, I guess, disrespectful or whatever. But once I charged up, I left and started walking on trail. So it's gonna be a short day. This section's a little bit tricky to do if you just want to camp for free. You can obviously stay at some of these towns at a hotel, but they're pretty expensive. And then the one cheap one that I saw had a bunch of comments about, or reviews on Google about people getting bed bugs and stuff. So I didn't want to stay at that one. But it's like this bike path that runs through all these towns for, I don't know, 30 miles or so. And you know, it's kind of got residential on one side and commercial on the other, and there's not really like woods like we've been hiking in. It's kind of, I don't know if you'd say urban, but developed. So you can do what I'm doing, take a short day, or like what Stevie Wonder did, and he's pushing for like a 27-mile day to get to like some campsite or something. But 27 is not really that long, but he did 3 miles into town and did like all the post office stuff and didn't leave until like 10. So he's trying to do 24 more miles starting at 10 a.m., which it's kind of a late start to be doing that, but he's trying to make it somewhere. So I didn't want to rush out and do that, and I still needed to charge up anyway. So 15-mile days, not terrible. It's not really a Nero, but it feels pretty relaxed. I'm just, I don't know, going super slow and enjoying the nice weather, I guess, the shade. So this one does not work, but there have been other like water fountain stations and like bathrooms and stuff, but there's also stuff like this up here, these little like covered benches. So it's pretty easy to take it easy. So the one thing about stealth camping on this trail is you're obviously not really supposed to do it, but every road crossing you get to, there's a sign that says this trail closes at sunset. So once you do get set up, and you, assuming you set up close to sunset, really shouldn't get caught by anybody, because there shouldn't be anybody out here walking around. So does that benefit? So I wanted to show one thing. I got a weather report on my Garmin last night because the service on my phone wasn't good. So you can see where it says Saturday 1%, But then you click on it. Like I said, this was last night. 70%, 30%, 30%, 30%. And then, that's, 4 a.m. So I don't understand how you can have a 1% chance and then like the next 2 hours is 70% chance of rain. I guess the cherry on top of all of that was it actually did rain at like 4 or 5 or 6 a.m. or something. It was like a scattered shower that probably didn't even show up on the radar. It lasted maybe 20 minutes or something of like light rain, but it's one of the things with the weather out here. Even the Garmin doesn't really know if it's 70% or 1%, so kind of just never really trusted 100%, especially if it says there's any kind of chance of rain. You can see this is obviously somebody's property, but most of this trail looks like this. There's also, it's a little bit more spread out, but there's houses back on this side too. But you can see it's like this really thick brush with a lot of like undergrowth, and you're not going to be able to pitch a tent along like probably 95% of this. I mean, you're not going to do it here because literally, well, especially here because the house is over there, we'll see you, but anybody could obviously see that. But if you are trying to stealth, you gotta kind of look at a lot of the comments, and I'm taking somebody's word for it. Up here at this trailhead, you can kind of see it on Google Maps. That's one thing that I've started to change on my Far Out app. I used to have it like the Google Street View, but the Google satellite map kind of actually does let you get a better idea of where trees are, or possible stealth sites, and gives you a little more context on like how developed the area is, where the street view can sometimes be misleading. So most of the day on the right over here has been pretty developed. I mean, it's not like lined with businesses and everything, but you're passing a few things, but you can kind of tell, the other side of that road over there is basically just a big open field. So you're kind of in this rural zone. This area over here that had houses, they might be further back over there, but it's more wooded, and you're kind of in between these two cities, and that's kind of why it's the ideal spot to stealth camp, because you kind of have the combination of less developed over here, and the stealth spot's actually going to be up here on the right. It's like or if I say the right, the left, about maybe another mile. I think it's kind of like a clearing back on this side that it's close to a road, but I think you're shielded kind of by a row of trees. But anyway, if you go much further past this, you kind of start getting back into that like rural suburbs, rural country homes and stuff like that, where it's going to start having properties on both sides. Another Dollar General. Kind of several on this road today, and I think there's even another one or two tomorrow somewhere. You can see the road ahead of me up there. Car will cross it here in a second. So that next road crossing is the trailhead, and then you got this one back there still. So kind of jumped in where I last showed. There's all these. This has got to be some kind of nursery or of some sort, because they're all like in lines. but I mean, there's no fences or anything to get in here, so maybe it's just like a logging thing where they cut them and replanted it in a like straight line like that. But anyway, you can't really see the trail, but it runs like right through there. I'm probably a good, I don't know, 150 feet or something back. I'm gonna camp behind this, just like visually blocked. My tent is green, and then that one there is also kind of gonna act as a visual shield. I'm not gonna set up quite yet because if somebody did look over here, they could see me setting up, so I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit darker. And I mean, the trail itself has been pretty quiet. It's way less busy than it was like earlier today, but I mean, there's still, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go further back in, but I don't know if there's properties over there or not. So I got visual blocks here, and there's nothing over there. One thing that I don't think I mentioned earlier is I'm doing the Crocs only now. I sent my my other shoes home. I wasn't really using them except for road walks, and they were still kind of messing up my pinky toes and blisters, and they were tight and my feet were sore. So these are working for now, so I didn't see the point of carrying them. I also got this, so this is like just an old film canister, like I don't know when they made them like this, but it's like a lightweight aluminum. And these are my earplugs that I just got. I've been using these foam, like hunting ones. These are now my backups. I mean, they work, but for me, they don't really stay in that good. They get kind of wet, because I usually put them in my toiletry bag, or I'll put them in like my electronics bag or something, and they just kind of get like gushy and they don't really expand anymore. These things are the best ones I've found. It's called Happy Ears, and I don't need all three. They're expensive. These are just different sizes. You pay like 35 bucks and they give you 3 different sizes of it. And I've used them before, and I've lost 2 of them just because I would carry them like this, and I would put them like in my hip belt pocket. Or last time I put it in the side pocket, and then I think I was taking a break and I like sat down and this like fell out. And the green, like if you drop this in the morning or at night when you're using them, you know, it's always dark, obviously. So this thing like went like that in the morning, it'd be hard to find it. So my solution was actually to get something a little bit bigger to carry them in, and then I wrapped it with a reflective tape, and then it has like this yellow top, and then on top of that this thing screws on, because like if you had like one of those black film canisters, it could just like pop off and fall out. So I'm quite happy to have these things are super comfortable. They fit all the way in your ear, like they don't stick out. I'll show you what they look like. They just look like this, and I said they have 3 different sizes, so you can figure out which one works for you. And they pretty much always stay in the whole night. They're not like uncomfortable. I've tried some that, you know, it feels like you got a rock in your ear, and you end up just taking them out because the uncomfortableness keeps you awake. So that was one of the things that I got in my gear box today. So I'm kind of thinking about doing a big day tomorrow. I still have like 13 miles of this bike path as best as well, 13 miles of bike path and road walk, and then I think it finally cuts off onto a trail. So I'm kind of thinking that I might just wake up at like 5:30, you know, because I'm gonna be right back on that bike path, and it's not like I'm gonna really miss anything, and I don't really need anything. There's water fountains and stuff. Like, I might as well just get up. So I don't know how far I'll go tomorrow, but I kind of want to make up some miles and try to catch up to my friend ahead of me. Not Stevie Wonder, but the other friend that I've been trying to catch up since day one. She's at the east-west junction at the 88 store, which is roughly, I think, 60 or 70 miles from here. And she's taking a 0 tomorrow. So, and then I think she's going to Trail Fest. So, plan is to maybe make up some miles, 30 plus. We'll see how I feel. And maybe catch up to her in the next few days. So here is my new compression sack, and if I really wanted to, I could compress it more. I just didn't think it was really necessary. And this is an 8-liter stuff sack next to it. And this thing, like I said, I'll take this and push it down and squeeze all the air out, and it's like really compressed, but the seams or whatever, or the material itself, it's not airtight, so it just inflates like this and gets big and bulky again. Whereas this thing, actually, once you cinch it down, obviously it stays that way. So for something big and bulky like a sleeping bag, especially a winter one, I think this is a definite game changer, and it's just easier to stuff. That 13-liter, it was like, mine takes up the whole 13 liters, and like just curling it down like 2 or 3 times. This thing, like curling this thing down just twice, was hard to do. And then pushing it, like I said, this would get all like twisted, and it was just not the best system. So I will do a quick little video. I still have some sunlight. I did move back, so I was at that one, and I moved back a little bit further because, like I said, the trail goes like that. So you'd really have to look over here to see me, even right now. Like I said, I'm behind these, and then my tent is green, or like light green. So anyway, this is the MLD Solo Mid. As you can see, it's floorless, so I have the bivy, 1 pole in the middle, and I've liked it as much as I use it. It's easy to set up. You basically just have, you know, you stake down the back, you stake down the front too, you insert the pole, and it's done. This pitch wasn't the best. This one's kind of sunken in a little bit. I mean, I have these guy lines, like I can pull this out, but I think I just didn't get this thing square. This ground is really sandy, and it's got a bunch of pine needles, so not the best thing for tent stakes, but I think it's going to be pretty calm. So, but I've had pretty good luck with it in wind. It's pretty sturdy. Generally have you can see a lot more room. Like in my bivy or my tarp, this was pretty much touching the edge, and this was pretty much touching the edge, so I have a lot more space here. And like I said, the door, obviously I have it rolled back right now, but obviously I can lower this and then zip it and get full protection in the front. And like I said, that side's a little bit low, but normally I'll hang my bug net off of that thing, and I'll have even a little more space. But when I'm not in the bivy, I can sit up, and it's fine. And if I really wanted to, you can unstake this and you can roll this one back as well, but I usually just leave it there in case it does start raining or something. I can just untie this and quickly zip it down. So that's the new setup. Just one last little thing before it gets too dark. I got a little bit of permethrin left that is also in my gearbox today. It's like 3/4 of a can, so I'm going through and spraying all my stuff. Stevie Wonder said he's had a couple ticks on him in the last few days, so I haven't seen any. Then again, I don't really check because it's one of the reasons why I wear long sleeves and do this. But they are out here in January, so it's good to kind of do a look over every time you go through some tall grass and top up on permethrin. Usually what I do is I'll spray the tops of the socks, spray, because I tuck my pants into my socks just so they can't crawl up my leg, and then I'll spray the fronts really good, and then I kind of give the backside like a light coating, even on the shirt, because think about going through tall grass, oftentimes it comes up to your arms, even your chest sometimes, so you don't want to miss your shirt. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish doing this and then go to bed.